Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Sayyid Muhammad Yamin Gharbi, and today's topic is demand of Malaysian automotive industry of the subject probability and data analysis. Let's begin with the introduction. The history of Malaysian automotive industry can be stretched back since the 1960s. However, the manufacturing of Malaysian automotive industry was only visualized in the 1980s. It was a giant leap for the Malaysian automobile industry, considering to the amount of investment involved to manufacture the first Malaysian car, the Saga. The project was called the Malaysian National Car Project, and the company entrusted to undertake this project, Proton, was incorporated on the 7 May 1983 under the name Perusahaan Automobile Nasional Berhad. Established in 1983, Proton was the brainchild of Malaysia's former Prime Minister. It is an ambition to turn Malaysia into Southeast Asia's new automaking powerhouse. Some related work. Malaysia is a unique mix of some of the world's oldest civilizations. The population is ethnically mixed, with just over 50% being ethnic Malays or Bhumiputras, 30% Chinese, 10% Indian, and various minorities of Aboriginals. Being dubbed as economic miracles with double-digit growth, Malaysian economic with strong support by the government has been rapidly growing. This is evident by the external trade breached 1 trillion ringgit in 2006, a major milestone in the history of Malaysia's external trade, reflecting the Malaysian economic stature. The purchasing power of Malaysian consumer also recorded series of increment since 2003. Research hypothesis. There are two hypotheses we did. There is strong correlation between escalations in fuel prices, increment in GDP per capita, and inflation rate with Proton sales revenue. The hypothesis 2, increases in GDP per capita has strong effect on Proton sales revenue, as you can see in this diagram. Let's have a look. So, what is the methodology we used? As for our first objective, the methodology chosen for this study is multiple regression. It is a causal method in which one variable, called a dependent variable, is related to one or more independent variables. The case study of Proton is seen to be corresponding with the method employed, bearing 4 elements for computation: the fuel prices, petrol price in ringgit Malaysia, the GDP per capita, inflation rate, and sales revenue. Sales revenue is dependent variable which the manager wants to forecast, and petrol prices, GDP per capita, and inflation rate are independent variables assumed to affect the dependent variables. So let's see the data collected. The data were quarterly recorded from 2000 to 2007 as in table 1. It is below. We'll go to that table further. Originally, we wanted to collect 15-year records to analyze annually, but the sales revenue of Proton from 1993 to 1999 cannot be acquired. GDP per capita is the annual required, so we offer the same value to each quarter of the year. There are totally 32 observations. The trend graphs of fuel prices, inflation rate, and GDP per capita are as in figure 2 and figure 3 respectively. As you can see these figures, the graphs, Malaysian fuel price and inflation rate from 2000 to 2007. As you can see in figure 2, the purple line is the inflation rate and the fuel price is this blue line. And the figure 3 shows the Malaysian GDP per capita from 2000 to 2007. So let's see the gross domestic product as we mentioned above in the table 1 from 2000 to 2007. Here the table shows the gross domestic product, GDP per capita, which is PPP, fuels as the main source of energy are crucial in propelling the Malaysian economy. As such, being the net exporter being the net exporter of crude oil, the domestic prices for the fuel are relatively lower in comparison to many of other countries in Southeast Asia. As for the inflation rate, Malaysia, through its fiscal policy of economy and monetary policy, has been effectively managing the inflation level to the minimum. This table indicates the fluctuations of the domestic fuel prices, inflation rate, and GDP per capita since 2000 until 2007. Let's check the results and discuss about that. So the result of the multiple regression analysis as seen in the table 2, this is the table 2 below. So let's see. The R square value 0.54 for the model represents a middle strength of correlation, and the significance F value 6.4 exponential power to the 0.5 show there is a linear relationship. This value of R square implies 54% of variation in sales revenue is explained by these three variables of fuel price, GDP per capita, and also inflation rate. There are three independent variables in the model. Three significance tests are performed to determine if fuel price, inflation rate, and GDP per capita are significant. Using a 5% level of significance, the p-value of the fuel price is 0.54 greater than 0.05, so we cannot prove that the fuel prices have effect on sales revenue. Let's check the result of the single regression analysis as shown in table 3. Indicated that with an increase of consumer GDP per capita will also negatively affect proton sales. Possibly by having higher income level, consumers were open to option that is more different from different manufacturers. Chiefly, proton needs to alleviate the misconception of mediocre quality among its potential consumers to ensure its future product acceptance. Overall, this regression analysis produces a correlation with R square equal to 0.41 and the F statistic equal to 20.85. P is less than 0.05, further providing a little strong model to this analysis. Only 41% of variation in proton sales revenue is explained by GDP per capita. Let's go to the conclusion. So, proton sales have been declining from recent years. The competition from local manufacturers as well as foreign importers is increasing. The customers have stronger purchasing power and more options in the car market. How to enhance the production quality and recover the market share is a significant issue for Proton. In 2008, Proton starts to cooperate with Detroit Electrics to develop the electric cars and plans to manufacture 100,000 electric cars by 2010. One of the major strategies of Proton in recent years is to produce fuel efficient and energy saving cars to coordinate with market demand and environmental protection. To capture a larger market in China is also an opportunity for Proton to increase the sales volume. So this was the conclusion made by this analysis. Thank you and have a nice day.